Was AI used in this Hatsune Miku art contest? One of you guys actually brought me this story. So this is the contest in question, hosted by Good Smile, which does like figurines and things. And it is a contest where you turn your illustration into a figure. So they're looking for illustrations of PR Pro characters that fit into 12 themes. The winning work for each theme will be made into a scale figure and awarded with a prize of 2 million yen, alongside other prizes. The grand prize winner gets 2 million yen, a figure, and is featured in art books. The Good Smile Award, which is 5 winners, gets 50,000 yen, which is about like 350, 400 USD, and is featured in art books. Then there's a Krypton Award, which you also get 50,000 yen and featured in art books, and a Judge Special Award for 50,000 yen. So the winners were announced the other day, posted by GSE underscore Good Smile. Now, this is translated with Twitter, but the theme was cute and subculture featuring Hatsune Miku. And on the website, the winners are featured as well. So this is the grand prize given to Asao Yurata. Then there's the 2 special judge awards. And then we have the Good Smile Awards. So again, the winner of the Good Smile Award gets 50,000 yen, which is about, again, 350 USD, 400 USD. And this is the final piece that people are debating. Because if you go to the tweet, a lot of people are speculating in the comment section about this post, where commenters are speculating it's AI. Somebody writes, "This is very clearly AI, so many parts meld into each other. Others are nonsensical inconsistency of proportions across lines, and this piece should be disqualified for their disingenuous image." Other people are just saying, AI, this is AI, isn't it? Other people are saying, hey, how did this slip past review? This is the most obvious AI generated image I've seen in a hot while. So this is the image in question. It features Hatsune Miku kind of sitting on a diagonal floating syringe with wings coming out of their back. Again, in terms of determining if a piece was AI or not AI, a lot of times you have to look at like the full arsenal of an artist's work to determine besides just one piece. But I would say on this piece, the fingers here look pretty damning. There's a thumb, but then there's like some fingerlarity here too. It's not holding the lollipop the way somebody would actually hold a lollipop. And then when you zoom out, basically, the thumb looks like one entire finger on its own, like this, which is a bit suspect. The second thing I would say is a bit interesting is this here, the flower on the shoe. Because if you think about it, oh, maybe these are boots with like flowers on the outside, right? I don't know, maybe you have some like wing detailing on the outside of each shoe. But then like it should be present on this shoe as well, so that it's symmetrical. Or maybe it's an asymmetrical design and only one shoe has the flower, possibly. But then what strikes me as odd is that the flower's on the wrong side of the shoe, because this is Miku's left foot. The flower is placed on the inside of the shoe, which just from like a design standpoint doesn't make sense, because if she were to walk, the flowers would hit each other due to how big it is if there were 2 flowers. So from a human design aspect, it doesn't quite make sense because it could be human error. People make mistakes. They get, hands flipped all the time, limbs flipped. But to not have both the flower on the other boot and have them on the inside of the shoe instead of the outside, it's a bit interesting. And then Miku has hearts on her top, but there's a heart, this one's a circle, and this one's an upside down heart. She also kind of has like a random line across her face. And I find it interesting that the wing has a hole in it. And finally, the structure of the shoe is just a bit odd because it looks like it's like a heeled boot, because we have like a heel here and then this is the platform of the shoe. Where's the bottom of the shoe? Because this is the bottom of the front half of the shoe, but then there's no heel. Like the heel is half the size of the shoe, and then the other half just kind of slopes upwards like this in this other chunk. It could be a design choice. Maybe it's a really, really like ambiguous looking shoe. Maybe it's like a little bit more high tech. It just is an interesting design choice to make for a shoe like this. Not to mention the fact that the shoes are not the same. This shoe is like a large platform and it has like a sock-like material for the actual foot to go into. And then for this shoe in the back, it's missing all of the like bagging detailing that's happening here. This looks like a sleek, like leather, like white leather skin tight boot that tapers out to like a sock material. To me, the boot kind of looks like it was trying to be like baggy socks or a leg warmer. and then somehow ended up becoming a shoe. You could argue maybe one of these could be like human error, but when all of this is combined together, it's a bit suspicious. And then, of course, the next step would be, okay, well, let's take a look at the artist and see if the artist has other works we can look at. So the artist name is Tippy Lou, and this is posted to Pia Pro, which is the site that you have to upload the artwork to enter the competition. The artist only has 2 works, and this is the second piece in question. Now, I don't have the full res for this, but again, this piece is a bit interesting. We have what looks like, you know, somebody with large golden wings breaking out of a cage. It's very poetic. The cage doesn't look like a cage. Like, there's like a middle bar going around the cage, and then on this side, it's kind of like bending. The character's supposed to break out of the cage, but this isn't part of the cage detail at all. It looks like a mistake. Again, human error. Then for both of these pieces that are submitted to competitions, there's a lot of human error. There's also this detailing here that doesn't add up to anything. And again, when it comes to competition like this, I would assume that as an artist, you might probably like double or triple check before submitting to make sure everything looks squeaky clean. Of course, if you stare at an art piece for too long, your eyes get a little crossed and you might get a little mixed up. You miss details that you normally wouldn't have missed, so that's completely understandable. But there's only 2 works available, and both works are in question. And then the final one is, okay, well, does the artist have presence on other social media platforms so we can take a look at other works besides like these 2 that were submitted for the contest possibly? And you just can't find an artist by the name of Tippy Lou. There's no results for anybody named Tippy Lou on Twitter. There's no results on DeviantArt, Pixiv, and you could argue maybe like DeviantArt is too American. There's no works with the hashtag Tippy Lou. There's only like 1 Instagram account with the username, and it really doesn't look like they're a Japanese artist who is into Hatsune Miku. They're a private account with no followers. So that's why it's the final layer of suspicion, because the artist has, from what it looks like, no presence on other social media platforms. They come out of the blue entering a contest with amazing rendering, in quotes, right? Because on first glance, the rendering looks really, really high level, but the rendering also contains levels of inconsistency and errors that somebody who can render to this degree just wouldn't make. Like 2 different shoes, the giant flower detail on the shoe being on the inside of the shoe instead of the outside, the thumb looking like it's completely like floating and detached from the lollipop, and other inconsistencies like the hearts, for instance. And also another, it could be human error, but the body doesn't actually line up with the clothing. Like the body is kind of going here, which you'd assume it would come out like this, but the torso and the clothing is kind of here. Again, that could be human error, right? People, you know, anatomy mistakes happen to everyone. But for this level of rendering plus the other inconsistencies, especially the shoes, it's a bit hard to tell. And then people are like, especially a bit upset due to the fact that this is an art contest that was purported to have a strong panel of judges, which includes the chairman and CEO of Good Smile Company Planning Department, Krypton Future Media, which developed Hatsune Miku, and a bunch of big name artists. And also, if you go to Pia Pro, which is their site, which is the site that you had to submit the work onto, can I post AI generated works on Pia Pro? Yes, but AI generated works cannot have license terms attached to them. Also, please make sure to submit the work in the AI generated category. Also, this is a translation from a screenshot, but AI is actually listed as being prohibited in this contest. So if it is true that the piece is AI and they had won the contest, that would be really interesting. So unfortunately, the Good Smile page hasn't made a statement yet, so we won't have a conclusion as to whether it is AI or if it isn't, and everyone is falsely accusing this artist. But I would love to hear your thoughts down below. What are your thoughts about this? Do you think it's AI? Do you think it's not AI? Anyways, if you like this video, I appreciate it. If you like and subscribe, don't forget to check me out on Etsy. I have digital art there for sale, like emotes and overlays. I also have a coffee with free resources, like a free sponsorship guide. And I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you all there or in another video.